we're gonna start this next session with something that I feel like is, for me, has been a game changer when we switched to online lessons exclusively. I've tried lots and lots of different lessons. I've been teaching online lessons for about 5 years, and so I've experimented with lots of different things. My very first experiments with online lessons, I decided they were terrible. They couldn't hold a candle to an in-person lesson. My students could learn faster. They were more engaged with me in person. But I did find some tricks that actually made it so that my students started learning faster when they were doing online lessons. And there are a number of reasons for that. But I would say the biggest factor in improving my lesson was the ability to control their sheet music on their computer right in front of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for volunteer. Josh, would you be my volunteer?
I would love to.
We're going to do a quick sample of what I mean by this. In Zoom, you have kind of these two options where you can have a cell phone as your extra camera. Can you, Josh, open your camera to the same Zoom conference?
Yes.
And then I want you to put it over your keys. And we have some people who are going to share some different ways to do this a little later in this session. Some people use a boom stand, and I forget whoever's sharing how to use something else.
We're sitting on a beach with the waves crashing out behind us when we do this, Aaron?
It is, yes, essential. It's hard to play piano if you're not on a beach. So this is kind of what Josh is going to set up, and hopefully now this works better. I've tried this in groups, and you can get away with it if you do it with maybe 4 students at most. But when you go to large groups, it's really hard to do both the camera and their screen.
Why is that? Is it just because you confused with whose hands are whose, or what?
Yes, that is correct. And so you have to kind of pair them. When you go into breakout sessions, you have to pair their hands camera with their computer camera.
Gotcha.
Or their computer screen.
That makes sense.
All right, Josh, have you joined?
Oh yeah.
Because if you guys can't see his hands, he's the only one with the piano. You can go to the next screen and you can see his hands on that one.
Oh, wait.
I know you can pin a video. Like if you click on that little menu, you can pin it, and so it'll be your main video. I haven't done a lot of experimentation with that. So what I'm gonna do is mostly what I want you to see is his face. So Josh, what I want you to do is share your screen with me. And I'm going to teach you a song called Arabesque. So let's assume you are maybe a new freshman coming in. You're a drum major, and one of the recital pieces is Arabesque. So the first thing that I like to do is take over control over their screen. So I'm on the top, there's a view options, and I can click on request remote control and then confirm it. Josh will get a message that says, do you want to allow remote control? And then I get a message that says, you can now control Josh's screen. So I'm just going to run a quick test by clicking on the title. This is me typing on his computer, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to look up a song called Arabesque. By the way, this is a Piano Marvel. You can do this on a PDF or whatever. I like doing it this way because I have some interactive capabilities. Let's do that. Search real quick. And I'm going to put this in your favorites, Josh, which is really nice. I don't have to do a lot of explaining. So if I really need to just get down to business, I can take control and just do whatever. And you can do this with TeamViewer, but I found that Zoom is much nicer. So now, over here, I actually want you to go into this minced slicing. And I can see you've already started this song. which is awesome. In fact, you've already finished it. Let's go to chop slicing. Okay, so in the chop slicing, what I want you to do is play for me. You can see if I click on a note that I'm actually controlling his screen. I can even highlight things. And let's say you want to use your annotation that you guys learned earlier. If I click on annotate, I can use my little hearts and stuff on the music. I can say, hey, I want you to play starting right here. Or I want you to start right here at measure 4. I can erase and clear all my drawings at one shot. If I click on the mouse, then I'm back to controlling this where I can say, hey, I want you to play that note with your third finger. So put your thumb here in this position. And because I can see his hands, I can actually see what he's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, pretend you don't know this song, Josh, and play it like a student would. All right, so now that I have control over his screen, I can actually zoom in. Oh, you've got a Mac and I don't have a command button. Bummer. So I can't zoom in. But you can then at this point, this is just a feature in Piano Marvel where you can see how many red notes they played, how many seconds it took. And this is the coolest thing, the score. So Josh, immediately you can see how much time it took you, and in your head you can say, I want to make an improvement. So try that again, and this time do better.
Okay.
To get less red notes and do it quicker. Try to beat
Just
27 seconds. And so on the second attempt, you can see it was perfect red notes. Now, a normal student, they'd probably go up to like 80%, then 90%, 95% until they got 100. At that point, then I want Josh to assess. And this is kind of the self-grading thing, which is really cool. And miss one note, please. Thank you. So you got a 99%, and I could say, all right, hey, Josh, it looks like you're doing really well. Just remember that that's an E natural up here. But what's really nice, if you've ever tried teaching somebody without being able to control their sheet music, you're not looking at the same thing. You're not able to use like a pencil and point at things, make notes. With Zoom, you can actually take over their screen, and for me, I think it's been probably universally the biggest, the most significant tool allowing me to have good online lessons interactively.